All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Green White Checker TV. Tonight we've got the Area 51 Racing League Superspeedway Cup Series tonight here. 75 laps at Talladega. Drivers make their qualifying laps as we speak, so we'll let them finish that up and then we'll get things underway. This is the second to last race of Season 5 for the Superspeedway Cup Series. And it looks like it's going to be coming down between Kevin Freeze and Matt Quick. It's going to be the 29, 25, and the 89 machines. However, the remainder of the points there you see, you got Gabe Butler, Dale Willoughby, Raymond Rittenauer in the top 5. Then you've got Kevin Hash, Brandon Pasalacqua, Charles Johnson, Dalton Hayes, and Michael Spell in the top 10. So, of course, with tonight being Talladega, as we've seen, this will be the track where if there's a third lane to form, this will be the track for it to happen. So we'll keep an eye on that this evening. Again, obviously the fuel strategy, of course, as well. The 25 lap windows, roughly about what they can make it on fuel. And with that 75 lap race, the drivers will want to make sure that they can make this race on the 2 stops. So while they finish up their laps, we will let them continue doing that, and then we'll rejoin here in just a moment for the grid. You have Charles Johnson, Robbie Richards finish up the top 10. Eugene Vernon, Todd Merkel, Gary Corley. Then you see Matt Quick there in the 89 machine. Art Peck, Dalton Hayes. And yeah, Dwight Plush, Michael Spell, Paul Patterson, and Mitchell Wilkes rounding out the top 20. Alright, so bonus point going to go to the one Gabe Butler. So I'll say that's going to take that option away from those drivers, the 25 and the 89. What I'm wondering is this could be where the 89 of Matt Quick, he could try to go ahead and go with the route here of trying to take advantage of bonus point for most positions gained, I believe, is a bonus point in this series. So actually, I'm going to take a look at that to verify. Yes, indeed, so there is a bonus point for most positions gained, so that could definitely be something to keep an eye out for here as well. As pace car's just about to start rolling off, and we'll see that number 1 of Gabe Butler, number 25 of Kevin Freeze are going to lead things off here at Talladega. Alright, and as we're going down the pit lane, I'm noticing actually something here. So it looks like I don't see Mitchell Wilkes in the 71. And then I'm not sure what happened to Matt Quick, but actually he is not showing right now on the grid here. Let's say we'll jump over to where he should be near the near Gary Corley in the 65. But you'll see on that outside line, Matt Quick was supposed to be in the 14th position. However, he is not in that spot. So we'll have to see what happened to that number 89, but this is definitely going to make things a little, obviously, a fair bit more difficult for him, though. So we'll keep an eye and see if he's hopefully able to hop into the server here and be able to get back out there. But again, though, I'm going to be coming to start things off here without any drafting help if he is able to get to the grid here. So we'll keep an eye on that. That being said, though, pace car is in. Going to put it into the hands of that 1 and the 25 on the front row. Remember, on the initial start, they go on the green flag. And then we'll get things underway here at Talladega. Alright, as they come around through the trial, waiting for that green flag to fly. And we are underway here at Talladega. Scheduled distance again is that 75 laps. I just saw the 89 of Matt Quick hop into the pits here, so he is starting to roll now. But again, it's definitely going to be a challenge for him now. He's going to be in a bad spot here, so we'll see what he's able to do. As you can see him get going now. But up front, though, that inside line so far is showing to be pretty strong here with Gabe Butler. He's got help from Dale Willoughby and then Eric Laurie right behind him. On the outside line, though, you've got Kevin Fries in that 25 with the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer there. And of course, then we'll have to wait and see if and when someone's going to make that move here to try to get that 3 wide to move forward on the track. As I said, as I'm watching also on the scoring monitor here, say that 89 car of Matt Quick just about at this point already about half a lap down here. Alright, through 1 and 2 for the second time around. So you can see that outside line starting to build that momentum. That's kind of what you'll see. The inside line is going to be the preferred way to go early on. But then as the run progresses, the outside line definitely has some momentum. Oh, you see a little bit of wiggling there, a little bit further back there. I think that was Gary Corley that was getting a little bit squirrely. Able to hang on to it there, but definitely a moment for him in that number 65 machine. As everybody still is able to point in the right direction, keep it clean and green so far here. So now we're just watching as the lead pack still running 2 by 2. So you got, again, teammates right now in those top 5 positions. Right now, the odd man out, if you will, is going to be that 83 of Jack Walls in that yellow Pennzoil machine on the third car on the top line. So right now we've got 19 cars on the track, 18 in this lead pack. However, again, I'm a little nervous for that 44 of Dwight Plush. He's kind of fallen off the back a little bit. So you also see Paul Patterson with a little bit of connectivity issues. So I think that's why he's dropping back like he has here. However, up front, things still holding pretty steady at the front of the field. Take a look from the number 1 of Gabe Butler. We'll take a look looking back at that car behind him of Dale Willoughby. Again, this is the front row here looking back at the inside line. Saying again, it's going to be tough to beat these teammates. We've seen them work week in, week out together, and they are definitely the ones to beat, it seems like, at the Superspeedway series. However, that being said, we've seen a lot of drivers kind of step up their game and definitely challenge in here as these races have unfolded. You can see that 87 Raymond Rittenauer was able to push that 25 of Kevin Freese to the front. Now he is just in front of that one car of Gabe Butler. So now we got those 3 on the top side. And you see now that's got the 83 of Jack Walls here, trying to see if he can push that 87 car to the front and possibly also try to be that car to be the one leading this pack here as we ride on board with that 83 of Jack Walls. Things still holding pretty steady up front. Again, Kevin Free is now leading the way in that number 25 machine. Say behind him still the one Gabe Butler, 7 of Dale Willoughby, and then the 071 of Eric Laurie. They're all locked in line there on the inside line. You can see the inside line definitely seems to be the preferred line here at the moment. Whether or not that's based on just the way the track and the setup combo is, or if it's just because these teammates were just working so well together, kind of obviously a little bit of both is definitely an option as well. But you can see right now these guys definitely holding their own here as we are in lap 7 of 75, coming to lap number 8 here. Still, again, long ways to go. Lap 25 is going to be right around that marker for the first green flag pit stop. And saying also watching that interval between the leaders to that number 89 of Matt Quick. It's just about a straightaway now. Less than a straightaway, actually, I should say, between that 89 and our lead pack here. So again, Matt Quick going to have to try to get in line here once the leaders get up to him, and then be able to try to hold as that first car lap down. And of course have to hope for that yellow as well. However, back up front though, you see Raymond Rittenauer. He's starting to get a pretty good push here from that 83 of Jack Walls. Jack's got him to the side of that 25 of Kevin Freese, but just hasn't quite got enough of a push as of yet to be able to complete that pass. But you can see now also that 10 of Corey Lane also in the mix, helping that pack out there, as well as last week's winner, that number 28 of Charles Johnson. You see Dwight Plesh again. We saw him. I was a little nervous about him hanging on to the draft, but it looks like he's still in the draft. As you can see, he ran the fastest lap of the race, about 0.3 of a second faster than our leaders. So he should still be in pretty good shape to hang on to this lead pack here. But again, it's like he kind of drifts off just a little bit further back than I feel comfortable with. But obviously knows what he's doing here to be able to hang on right now. So we'll kind of run through the field here a little bit, try to catch some of the drivers as they are running around here at this track. Again, we mentioned obviously a leader is that 25 of Kevin Freese. Outside of him is Raymond Rittenauer in the 87. And you've got Matt Quick there, or sorry, Matt Quick. Gabe Butler in the one car there, the 83 of Jack Walls. And then inside of him is that 7 of Dale Willoughby, outside Corey Lane. And then the 071 of Eric Laurie with Charles Johnson to his outside. And then you've got the 68 of Mark Brown. But as I say that, they are catching that number 89 of Matt Quick here. You see Matt up against the wall. His goal now is going to be to try to grab onto the back of this draft as this lead pack goes on by him. And then, again, tries to hope to be that car that'll get the break for a timely caution. And also might possibly have to save some fuel here because he's been having to run foot to the floor this whole time just due to where he was by himself on track here. So also a potential disadvantage for that number 89 of Matt Quick here. Back up front, though, so we mentioned that number 7 of Dale Willoughby and company. I'll say another driver that's moved their way a little bit further forward here is that 12 of Robbie Richards on that number 12 machine. He right now is on the outside line, 4th car on the outside. And right behind him, the 36 of Art Peck. He's got that Ford EcoBoost paint scheme on that car, really good looking paint scheme there. And then right behind him, the 47 of Dalton Hayes with a little bit of rear end damage. Looks like some may have gotten to the back of him a little bit harder than they would have expected there on the start of this race. So I'll say not going to affect that car too much by any means, but obviously something he'll be aware of. We saw that 68 of Mark Brown jump to the inside. Also have the 88 of Michael Spell there. Actually, looks like it may have been Michael that got into the back of him. I see a little bit of nose damage, if I'm not mistaken, on that 88 machine. Again, doesn't look like it's too worse for wear at the moment. Then you got that yellow, bright yellow 001 of Eugene Vernon here on the inside line. And then right behind them, that 81 of Todd Merkel. So again, Todd right now just, I think, cruise control, saving fuel, and then being ready to kind of go after it here once it's really time to go. Then a little further back from them is that 65 of Gary Corley. So they got Paul Patterson right there with them. And then unfortunately, you see the Dwight Plush looks like he's fallen off that lead pack like we were talking about. So now he and Matt Quick are having to work together here to kind of limit the damage, if you will. So say unfortunately it doesn't look like the 89 was able to grab onto that lead pack here. So far unfortunately things going a little bit bad to worse for that number 89 of Matt Quick. So again, he's going to definitely need a caution. And the other problem now for him as well is, again, that fuel mileage. He's going to be in a pretty tough spot, I feel like, to be able to make it on the two-stop strategy. So he's going to have it all to do here to try to have a chance at this one tonight. Back up front, though, Raymond Ridenour has gotten to the lead. So he got that push he needed from the 83 of Jack Walls. But now Jack's going to try to lead that top side to the lead here. So you got the 10, as you see right behind him, of Corey Lane, then Charles Johnson, Robbie Richards there as well, and then the 36 of Art Peck. You see the jump to the top there as well of that 88 of Michael Spell. So up front business definitely starting to pick up a little bit here at Talladega. So still watching as these drivers run around here. Again, about 207 or so entering turn number 3. And saying speed falls down to just under 200 miles an hour, about 197 there through the turns. Just again, say they're not lifting the foot to the floor. It's just that little bit of drag, and just to say with those cars pushing down the downforce in the turns, that's going to make that happen there. Of course, slow the speeds down. As you can see, that inside line starting to pull away just a little bit. It's kind of an ebb and flow. You'll see as they're able to lock on together, they'll make that charge. Then you might have one driver start to overheat a little bit, and so it kind of falls off a little bit. And they'll get that car cooled off, and then they'll make the second charge again. So that's kind of, I think, what you're going to see here. As you can see already, that 10 car getting a little tighter to the back of the 83 of Jack Walls. And that's starting to push Jack back up towards that front to say right now up to the door of that 25 of Kevin Freeze. So he just needs a little bit more of a shove to get all the way up to that 87 of Raymond Rittenauer, as we're just within that 10-lap window or so for the first set of green flag pit stops to begin. I'll say, but right now, I'll say everybody's holding pretty steady. Leaders running about 47 4s, 47 3s. So we talked about those two cars that fell off the back of the pack, the 89 and the 44. They're running in the 49s right now, so losing almost 2 seconds a lap at the moment, unfortunately. So like I said, it's definitely going to need some luck for them to have a break to get things back up and going. So right now, let's say they're just doing all they can to work with each other, kind of minimize the damage here. You see Corey Lane there jump to the top. I think that 10 car was getting too hot, So he's going to jump out of the way here. He's going to have to fall to the back through the top side. That's going to leave Charles Johnson now to push that 83 of Jack Walls. But again, that's kind of the risk versus reward. So you can push aggressively for so long, but then you have to make sure you get out of there to make sure you don't overheat things. And so did exactly what he had to do there to get himself out of trouble. Especially got to make sure you do it before that motor pops. So Corey Lane just trying to kind of live to fight another day, if you will. But you say up front, though, still the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer hanging on to the lead. You see, though, Jack Walls is starting to gain a little bit again with the help now from Charles Johnson. Just doesn't quite have what he needs to as of yet, though. Up onto the roof of that 071 of Eric Laurie. Eric right now showing him right around the 7th, 8th, 9th position here. I say is that 5th car on the inside line with those teammates of his, the 87, 25, 1, and the 7. I say again, they're going to be hugging this yellow line here again, especially as we're approaching that pit stop window. That's going to be the next thing. Some of these drivers are going to have to try to fight their way to get to that inside line. Just because, as we mentioned here, that pit stop window here is going to be opening within about 5 laps or so. And so that's going to be the first hurdle, of course, these drivers will need to face before they have a chance to keep going after it. And I guess there's still another stop to go even after this one. But so far, everybody's trying to kind of mind their P's and Q's at this point in the race. And I think we'll see possible fast repairs for some of those drivers that have had some contact in that race earlier in the race so far. Like we mentioned, that 88 of Michael Spell. You can see the nose damage here on that car. So let's see if we can get a better look at it from the back of the 81 of Todd Merkel. Yeah, you can see that dented in nose on that number 88 machine. I'll say again, in the draft, it's going to be not a problem, but if he's ever going to want to be up front and lead this pack, that damage to the nose is definitely not going to be what he needs. So he's going to have to probably use that fast repair for this just to be safe, because again, you never know. Or he could also save it here as long as he's in the draft. He could save this fast repair and wait till a little further along in the race to use it as well. Maybe the next set of green flag pit stops. And still watching the 89 and the 44. So you can see they're still trying to work together here, showing about a half a lap off of the lead still. Again, lap times are still about 2 seconds a lap slower. So they're just working as hard as they can together to minimize that loss. And again, especially for that 89 of Matt Quick, still really needs a yellow to be able to get that lap back, to be able to try to challenge with that 25 of Kevin Fries for the title. So again, this is the second last race of the season here for Season 5 of the Area 51 Superspeedway Cup Series. So right now, things are looking really good for Kevin Fries. Again, still a lot that can happen. We're still over 50 laps to go in this race. That's one of those things. These are those little things. Let's say one race could really shake everything up. So, like I said, still have a long ways to go before that comes into play. We'll keep an eye on things as this race progresses. As we're right now on lap 23 of 75, so pit stop window should be opening here very shortly. Now it's going to all be about drivers trying to get themselves positioned to get to the inside to make these pit stops. But you can see that outside line starting to fall back a little bit. I think possibly having to try to fall back into line here, because again, this is definitely not a track, obviously, or any, of course, but definitely not a track here where you want to run out of fuel. It looks like I saw a spot there for Charles Johnson. He was able to sneak in right behind the 81 of Todd Merkel. Now we'll see if he's able to make some room for the 83 of Jack Walls. You can see he's rolling out of it a little bit. So yeah, there goes Jack. He's going to sneak into that spot. So here comes all these drivers trying to find their way to the bottom to make these green flag pit stops. Right now the odd man out is that 36 of Art Peck. He needs to try to find his way in. before these green flag pit stops cycle through, because that's going to be where trouble begins. However, we've got some pit stops underway here. You see, you got some of our lead pack there. You see Raymond Rittenauer with a pretty aggressive entry. Oh, Mark Brown as well, locking him up. Then we got Kevin Freeze there, the 47 of Dalton Hayes and Paul Patterson all hitting the pits here. So that's going to now leave the next pack here with the 1 of Gabe Butler, the 7 of Dale Willoughby, the 071 of Eric Laurie. They're going to try to push around here and go another lap. And it looks like they've got a good group behind them as well with that 81 of Todd Merkel. He's got a big push from the 83 of Jack Walls, Charles Johnson there. So I think we're going to see a big pack here hitting the pits. The 89 and the 44 Matt Quick, Dwight Plush, they're in the pits as well. So now we'll watch this next set of pit stops here from these drivers as they get down to speed. Again, this is the hard part, is making sure everybody gets down to speed, doesn't overshoot the entry here, and it looks like everybody's done a good job. So now everybody's going to try to get sorted out here, because you don't want to go side by side on the entry. However, you see the 1 and the 7, they'll be okay, because Gabe, of course, our pole sitter, he's going to get out of the pits, or he's going to enter the pits, I should say, in front of everybody here. Oh, contact between the 83 and the 81 there entering the pits. 81 just gets into a stall there. He wasn't quite in the stall. Now he is in, so he's going to lose a little bit of time here. So we'll see how that plays out. And so now it's going to be all about who's able to get out of the pits here as quick as possible. You see the 1 and the 7, they're going to get out together, and they're going to actually come out with a pretty big margin over the rest of these groups that made those pit stops there. So now the question is going to be, of course, where this next group is, starting with Kevin Freeze there and Raymond Rittenauer. You can see they're going to blow on by most of this group here. So now, can the 1 and the 7, though, can they get up to speed quick enough to hang on to those 2 with that head of steam coming down the backstretch? It's looking good. So they had a really good pit stop cycle between the 2 of them. You can see actually they're able to stretch it by about 3 seconds or so. So we'll see now. It's all about the momentum. If Kevin and Raymond, if they can work together here to close that gap even further. But right now, say our front runners here are going to be that 1 and the number 7. Again, as you can see, they're now closing to about 2.5 seconds as these cars get all back up to speed. That being said, though, I'm looking behind them, and there's a pretty big group of cars not too far behind, being led by Charles Johnson here, actually working on catching the 68 of Mark Brown. So we're going to have a pretty big pack of cars here, I believe, in just a little bit here. This will be coming out of turn number 2. You can see there I'd say about 10 cars or so once they get all settled together. And if they can work together, they can definitely make some gains here. And see, actually, the 83 of Jack Wall still sitting in the pits. Actually, no, he's in the pits now. I'm not sure what happened to the 83 car. So say he's trying to hunt him down here. There he goes. So that's going to add another wrinkle into things, though, because now this is going to put Jack 1 lap down, which is going to put him in that lucky dog position over the 89 of Matt Quick. Say Matt, unfortunately, got separated from that 44 of Dwight Plush, so he's having to try to get him caught back up to him. And then that will then they'll try to chase down this 88 of Michael Spell, as I can see if that 3-car group can make something happen. Up front, though, you can see, though, that 87 and the 25, they are on their way. There's going to be a 4-car draft here up front in just a moment, and that's going to be a potent group to fight against here because, again, I think the 4 of them working together is going to be a tough one to beat. Because behind them you got Mark Brown, so you can see they've got about 5 right now together. Then you got a couple there that fallen off the back of that pack, starting with Todd Merkel in that number 81 machine. So right now, though, I'm going to say definitely an advantage to that front 4 group because we'll watch the lap times, of course, as well. That last time around, though, actually, let's say unless the lead pack was slowing down for the second group, they ran a 48.2. Whereas the 5th place car, Mark Brown, ran a 47.4, apologies. So we're going to watch this next time around. This will definitely be a more accurate, a more telling kind of lap times now that you got the 4 of them here all locked together. as they come around the tri-oval here, coming out of turn number, or I'm out of tri-oval coming into turn number 1. So that last time by they ran a 47.8. That group behind, led by Mark Brown, was a 47.2, so about 0.6 of a second quicker. However, they're starting to split up here, and this is the danger. So you start getting aggressive here, and you want to, you think you can go faster with maybe someone else leading the pack or things like that. But I feel like what I see here with these cars running 2x2, this is gonna actually hurt their speed here. They need to stay all locked on together and be able to push as much as they can. As you see now, they're gonna get back into line again. So we'll keep an eye on that. But so we'll see. Although I'm watching this gap, and it still does look like it is slowly closing, I say just visually. So I think this second group still might just be, and they also are going to be very close to being into the back of that draft of this lead pack. Again, we'll watch the lap times as they cross, and again, about half a second quicker. So this lead pack of 4, I believe, is going to become a lead pack of 9 or so. It's looking like. Let's say if they can all get locked up here and chase this lead 4 back down. So unfortunately, let's look at those 3 cars behind that 81 of Todd Merkel. I also saw Art Peck was in that mix, as well as the 65 of Gary Corley. So they're definitely not assembled as well as they need to be, and so only the 3 of them, so they're not going to be able to chase down this group in front of them. That being said, though, this group is definitely working on closing this gap here, and it's going to close quickly because they're definitely now in that draft. We'll probably see some fastest laps of the race, and yep, there it is. Charles Johnson 46.654 compared to 47.898 for that lead pack. So say they are here and they are ready to go. Now the question is, are they going to stay in line here, or are they going to take the momentum? And there's their answer. Mark Brown, he says yes. Eric Laurie is going to stay with his teammates, of course, which makes perfect sense. Then you got Charles Johnson there. He's going to jump to the top, as is Robbie Richards. So we're going to see if they can make something happen. You can see this, that move there. It looks like that split that group up a little bit here. You got Dalton Hayes, though, staying to the inside. So right now it's a 3-on-6 battle. So, but you see Charles Johnson doing all he can to push that number 68 of Mark Brown to the front. Saying they are doing a good job here. They've gotten to the side of the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer. Now trying to see if they can push that momentum to the 7 of Dale Willoughby. And, of course, to our race leader, that number 1 of Gabe Butler. Charles has got them there. They are just barely at the moment clear of that one. Now the question is they're actually both able to clear. It's going to leave Robbie Richards as the odd man out, unfortunately for him. So they couldn't get that third car to fit in that group. But a great push there for that 28 and the 68 to be able to make that happen there. So that's going to move Mark Brown to the lead here with 42 laps remaining. I'll say they're actually closing up on some of those cars that we had mentioned there a little bit ago. Like the 88 of Michael Spell, the 89 of Matt Quick, and then the 44 of Dwight Plesh. So it's going to put Michael here close to going a lap down. Same thing for Dwight, and also possibly putting that number 89 of Matt Quick 2 laps down. Alright, so as you can see, we have now 9 cars in this lead pack. Mark Brown leading this group now with Charles Johnson. And then behind them, you've got the 1 of Gabe Butler, Dale Willoughby, Raymond Rittenauer, Kevin Fries, Eric Laurie, Dalton Hayes, and Robbie Richards. They are all together here. As you can see, they are working now, coming up to that group, as we had mentioned, of the 89, the 44, and the 88. Still see the 88's got that nose damage, so did not get that repaired. So probably isn't having quite the draft he'd be looking for, as this lead pack's going to work on catching up to them and putting them a lap down or more. And again, I mean, this is going to be brutal for Matt Quick. So this is going to put him 2 down. And say a track here like this, and with other cars already being a lap down, I just feel like that's going to be a tough one to try to come back from. See, lead pack's going to blow on by. So again, now strategy is going to need to be to try to find a way to get to that bottom line and to catch onto this draft here. That last time that happened, Matt wasn't able to tag onto this draft. So we'll see if he's able to do so this time around or not. He's going to need to try to grab right onto the back of Robbie Richards. But he has to be careful because he saw the 80 and Michael Spell. He's trying to get back onto this group as well. And sure enough, actually, Michael's able to get behind that 12 cars ahead of him. So that's going to now move Michael into that bottom line as Matt Quick still stays on top. Looks like he's going to maybe now look at dropping. Yeah, so now Matt's going to drop to the bottom here along with Dwight Plesh. That should be able to stay onto the lead pack here. Again, unfortunately, though, showing as 2 down for that number 89 car. As I say that, though, he's jumping back to the top here. Again, I just don't think there's anywhere for that momentum to go as of yet in this race. As you can see, he does not have any help in front of him. So the only thing he could do here is if he could get up there with his teammates, maybe he could be the one to lead that pack back to the lead, and he be the one to kind of be on the tail end of 1 lap down, just, of course, in case should a caution come out here. So as things run right now, we have 3 cars, 1 lap down: Michael Spell, Dwight Plush, and Jack Walls. Matt Quick showing 2 laps down, unfortunately, due to missing the start of the race, and so far has gone caution-free, as I believe next time around we'll be halfway through the race. But up front, though, still Mark Brown leading the way in that number 68 Gatorade Zero Chevrolet Camaro. He's got Charles Johnson right behind him. They were able to use that draft and get around the 1 and the 7 there. As you can see, as things keep going here as right now. About 10 more laps or so until that until that final set of green flag pit stops will go underway. And again, that's going to be that next critical mark in this race. And then from there, should be pretty much just a full sprint to the end. So we'll jump around a little bit. So some of those drivers that fell off the pack are led right now by that 81 of Todd Merkel. He's working with the 36 of Art Peck and the 65 of Gary Corley. They are about 7 seconds off this pack here. Also showing their lap times haven't been too bad, actually. So they're showing about 3/4 of a second slower with only the 3 cars. So a pretty good job by them to do what they're doing here. Then we'll jump back a little further here. We've got 3 cars together. We've got the 83 of Jack Walls working with Eugene Vernon. They're about 20 seconds out of the lead, and you also see Paul Patterson in that group as well. And right now by himself, I believe, is that 10 of Corey Lane. Say Corey definitely not where he needs to be here in that number 10 machine. Also looks like possibly a little bit of nose damage on that car. But yeah, so right now Corey unfortunately off by himself here. He will be the next to go a lap down, which just again, him running by himself is going about 3 to 4 seconds a lap slower than this lead pack. So I think right now, I think drivers are pretty content where they are at the moment. Again, still a long ways to go. Got about just under 10 more laps until the next set of pit stops. Again, that's going to be the next critical juncture in this race. And so I think that's when we'll see that 1, the 7, 87, 25, and 071 where they'll make their charge here to try to do something to get back towards the front. Because again, if they get all 5 of them lined up here, they'll be able to probably charge through there. So we'll kind of wait and see on that one. As you see, one jumping to the top. I believe that was Dalton Hayes. It was. He's jumping to the outside here. Maybe just trying to fall to the back here and try to stay where it maybe feels a little more comfortable. Doesn't want to be right in the mix here. Again, Dalton right now is one of those cars on the lead pack along with that 12 of Robbie Richards. The other possibility is, I'm not sure if they're teammates or not, but maybe Dalton here might try to work with that 89 of Matt Quick. Maybe if they can lock on here and make a big charge here to the front. Keep an eye on them and see if they do get that charge going and maybe make a jump to the outside. But right now, everybody's staying lockstep here. Down the backstretch, coming around to 33 to go at the line. Again, right now Mark Brown still leading the way in that number 68 machine, doing what he needs to do to try to control this race and put himself in contention, of course, to get a win. However, he's going to have a lot of tough competition to try to hold up. We saw Charles Johnson work as hard as he could there to get the win last week. Saying again, if he's going to be able to get it done, you're going to have to hold off those teammates behind him, and it could be any of them really. Because let's say week in and week out, there's always at least one or two of them in contention for it. So right now, though, these drivers doing what they need to do to position themselves to be in that perfect opportunity here towards the end of this race. Looking out the back of Mark Brown's number 68 machine, you see that 28 of Charles Johnson right on the back bumper of him. Saying that's pretty much, I think, what you're going to be seeing here until that pit stop cycle happens. I think those two have been working really well together, so I think they're kind of committed to each other as of now. Saying again, it's one of those things you kind of learn as you go who you can work with. Saying, I mean, you're going to have to compete with those teammates behind you, so I think that's what we're seeing here as well. That's their best chance here of competition, is to try to win this race, is going to be to work together at this point. Alright, leaders are about to catch that number 10, as we had mentioned, Corey Lane. That's going to put Corey a lap down, and so it's going to be now the fight will be between himself, Michael Spell, Dwight Plesh, and Jack Walls. It's all going to be about if and where Corey falls in line here with the draft. Kind of logic's going to say that he's probably going to fall in behind those two of those three, I should say, just because, let's say, those guys are all the 88 and the 44 are still in that draft. As you can see, though, Corey gave lots of room there. Again, a lot of give and take, a lot of respectful driving that we've seen so far tonight here at Talladega. And so just, again, hats off to the drivers for everything they're doing. You can see that 10 of Corey Lane is going to drop to the inside and hopefully can catch onto the back of these guys, because that's, of course, the next risk here is if he doesn't catch or get close enough there before that happens, let's say he could fall right back off the pack here. Alright, we're getting close here. We're on lap 46, 47 now, 29 to go. Again, that pit window is going to be opening up here in about 4 to 5 laps. We'll see what these drivers are able to do. Can anybody maybe stretch their fuel another lap than the guys in front of them? Those drivers that pitted a lap earlier, or the 68, the 28, as well as the 87 and the 25. And the 47 as well of Dalton Hayes, and those drivers that pitted that lap later were Gabe Butler, Dale Willoughby, and then you had Eric Laurie, Robbie Richards. Those drivers all pitted that one lap later, so we'll see how this comes to be here after this, once this green flag pit stop cycle begins. Now, that is the balance you have to find here. Is you want to be able to pit with people, but you want a small enough group that you can really charge the pit entry, maximize your entry and exit speeds. Because if you pit in a big group of, let's say, 10, 15 cars, there's a good chance you're not going to get your the best entry and exit that you can get, which will slow you down overall. So, like I said, there's kind of a science to it. I'm not sure what that official number would be for the best approach for that. But again, same also with the smaller group here. I'll be curious to see if they want to pit all together or if they might try to split it up in 2 groups here. I said the other thing too is some of these drivers, as they are now on lap 25 of this run, so they need to go another lap or 2 if at all possible. Some drivers are probably trying to save a little bit of fuel as well, just to play it safe. Like Matt Quick, I say, because he's been having to run by himself for a good chunk of this race. He needs to make sure he has enough then where he can actually pit with this lead pack as well, where he doesn't have to pit 1 lap early. Looks like everybody's staying out. As I said, no, Mark Brown is in. Mark Brown's in by himself. That's the risk. Say he led so much of that race by himself. You can see he's charging the pit entry there. Hopefully he got down to speed. That's going to now move the lead over to the 28 of Charles Johnson. So now we'll see when they make their pit stop cycles. A few behind are also in the pits there. Todd Merkel, Art Peck are in. So we've got a few takers there as well, a little further back in the field. So right now this is going to be the critical time for these drivers here to, again, hit their marks and find their braking points and everything like that. And again, I'm going to watch for that 68 of Mark Brown, see if he's coming out of the pits now. So he was able to get down to speed. So now it's going to be up to this group behind him. And see also, are they going to come this time? Are they going to go one more? Looks like a mixed bag here. For the most part, everybody is in. You see the 28, the 87, 25. So we got most of the group here. Looks like they all get in nice and clean. However, up front, though, we're going to have a change at the lead. It's going to be the 1 of Gabe Butler. He's going to lead these 3 cars with the 7 of Dale Willoughby, the 071 of Eric Laurie. They're going to try to hustle these cars around here and try to go that 1 extra lap. And this is going to be that charging lap. They're going to try to be as fast as they can here and try to be as aggressive in the pits as well. And that's where they want to try to get this, kind of make this gap here. Alright, so here they come all heading into the pits. Looks like everybody's able to separate themselves. A little bit of a wiggler for the 7th, but they all get sorted out there. So now it's going to be see who's coming out of the pits. I see right now looks like the 25 and 87 are going to come out of the pits together here. So that's great for them. They'll be able to work together here and see what they can do. Behind them, you've got Charles Johnson there, and he's got a helper as well with a 12 of Robbie Richards. And I think they're close enough. They can catch back up to this group, so that'll give them the 4 cars together there. We'd mentioned Paul. Got to hunt him down here. Where did he go here? Mark Brown in the 68 had a pit by himself, and you can see what that's done here. He is off the pack of this group here, unfortunately. Also, the 89 of Matt Quick hasn't had the stop he was looking for. As now we wait for that next group that came out of the pits. There's the 1 of Gabe Butler. He's heading out of the pits with that 071 of Eric Laurie, the 7 of Dale Willoughby. Now, can they get up to speed quick enough and be able to hold on to the lead here as they come out of turn number 2? As you can see, there's 4 cars coming behind them with a big head of steam, though. So we'll watch from the back of that number 1 of Gabe Butler. You can see Eric Laurie's coming quickly to catch up to him, as is Dale Willoughby. But then you look just a little further back, and here comes that lead pack with a big head of steam. Looks like they're going to actually line up together. So that's going to leave Charles Johnson. He's going to take that momentum to the top side. He's going to try to bring Robbie Richards along with him and see if they can push their way to the front here as we have 23 to go at the line. So you see a little further back, the 89 of Matt Quicks with Michael Spell in the 88. See both those drivers a lap or more down, unfortunately. Let's say right now, though, Charles is going to be hard pressed. To say it's kind of 5-on-2 here as things run. I say not like those guys need any help and advantage with more vehicles either. So Charles and Robbie are going to have to do everything they can in this run to try to make a charge. But right now, say it's going to be hard sledding for them to do that here. Alright, so looks like Matt Quick and Mike Spell were able to catch that group. So it's helpful because Michael's going to run to the top, it looks like, with that 28 car. However, it also hurts because the 89 of Matt Quick, he's going to jump to the bottom with his teammates. So it went from a 2-on-5 to a 3-on-6. Now we'll see if Eugene Vernon, if he can grab onto this draft. Of course, he wants to try to hang on to this group here and do all he can, as that just put him a lap down in that 001. So he's going to need to fight with that 88 of Michael Spell to try to get his lap back, or at least be in contention, I should say, for it. Because also here comes the 26 of Paul Patterson. That is the next car that they're looking to put a lap down. So now it's going to be between that 88, the 001, and the 26 car. Those three will be fighting for that lucky dog position should a caution come out. So up front, still Gabe Butler leading the way with Eric Laurie behind him. Then you got Dale Willoughby, Kevin Fries, and then on the outside you got Charles Johnson there with Robbie Richards. As I mentioned, all those teammates on the inside line. Pretty much from, looks like Raymond back to Matt Quick there. Those 6 are all teammates. So they're going to be a tough group to beat here. But you can see though, Charles and Robbie and Michael working really strong on the top side, able to get to the outside of that number 1 machine. And you see, looks like the 001 of Eugene Vernon, he's thinking about trying to get up there as well. And then we'll have to see as well if that 26 of Paul Patterson, if he tries to join this party possibly on that top side as well here. See, also coming up on the 83 of Jack Walls. This will put Jack 2 laps down in that number 83 machine. But again, though, this could be a big help, though, for Charles Johnson. That might give him one more pusher to this top line. Again, though, the first thing for Jack is going to be to try to drop down and grab onto the draft here. So let's make sure he's able to do so, because, yeah, if he can, though, that would be a huge break for them. And you see, actually, looks like Michael may have backed up to make sure he could pick up that 83 of Jack Walls. So it's going to be those 4, looks like, on the top. However, they've got a long ways to catch that group back up. You can see, though, just the 2 of Charles Johnson and Robbie Richards still fighting really strong here, as we have 18 to go here at Talladega. Again, though, still a long ways to go, but Gabe Butler, Charles Johnson right now running door-to-door here as the inside line starts to progress a little bit more. And let's also jump around a little bit. Unfortunately, some of those that fell out of this lead pack, you see that 47 Dalton Hayes, the 68 of Mark Brown. And unfortunately for Mark, that was just what happens, unfortunately, with the with having to pit by yourself and not having any drafting help. That just shows exactly what that risk is of not having that field numbers to pit with a group there. A little further back, you've got 44 of Dwight Plesh, along with Todd Merkel and Art Peck there. Todd and Art still on the lead lap there, 10th and 11th place. As we keep cycling through, you see, unfortunately, Gary Corley all by himself here. So he's going to be the next one to get put a lap down, as he's running, again, about 3 to 4 seconds off the leaders. And saying he's only about a half a straightaway away. So as we jump back to our lead battles, you can see that top line's back to forming here again with all 4 cars there on the top side. So we'll see as this goes. Those 4 cars had been working pretty well together. So I think this could definitely be a pretty good battle here towards the end of this race. As I said, the 88 of Michael Spell, he's going to jump to the top here. They're all kind of jumping around. I'm not sure if what's going on. That's going to send. It's like Robbie Richards actually falling to the back a little bit. Maybe Robbie not feeling comfortable on the pushing side of things potentially. And also remember, Robbie's still in contention for this result too, so he may not be wanting to be so aggressive yet and risk getting involved in an incident or something like that. So looks like Michael's going to take over the pushing duties of that number 28 of Charles Johnson. But you can see, though, just with that little change that they did of who was leading this group, though, they've fallen back all the way back to that 5th place car, it looks like, of Raymond Rittenauer in that group here. Let's say now that they're reassembled, we'll see what they're able to do here. Again, we've seen how well they work together, and it looks like, yeah, right off the bat, Michael Spall right on him already. So let's jump on board here. Oh, you can see the wiggle there from Michael Spall trying to get lined up. That 28 car couldn't quite get it to get lined up correctly, and they were just sawing on the wheel trying to get lined up correctly. And that's one of those things. I mean, it's a skill that you have to learn. And so, let's say you have drivers that you work well with and everything like that. And even at the best times, with the people you're familiar with, you kind of get that wobble. And the other thing that could be happening is we can't really see from the onboard. But it's possible that he might be getting also a bit of a push from behind as well from that number 83 of Jack Walls, which would definitely upset that car even more so. As you can see him coming through. Oh, you can see Michael move to the top there. Saw the 83 of Jack Walls, I think, got a little bit closer to the inside than he realized, so he had to move up and get out of the way. So now Jack Walls is going to be that lead pack, or second car, I should say, on the outside line here. So everybody's kind of shuffling around here at the moment. And I saw they did just get around Gary Corley. That's going to put Gary a lap down. And say, so you had a bunch of cars here in contention for that lucky dog spot here that are in this group here. As I mentioned, the 88 is one of those, as is the 65, the 001, and the 26. So now we'll see if Charles Johnson is able to do anything with the 83 of Jack Walls behind him, as we're going to come around here for 13 laps to go here at Talladega. And I mean, I think this is actually probably a pretty good spot here for Charles Johnson, because if you can keep those cars all pinned to the inside line, I think that's going to really make it a little bit more difficult for them to be able to challenge here, because they said they don't have the rest of the track to work with. Say my four-legged announcer agrees with me, so as he was giving me some insight as well. So he said he's a little bit upset that I don't let him on the, because he wants to be able to try to attack these cars as they go by the screen. So yeah, hopefully all goes well and don't have any technical difficulties due to four-legged ones. But up front, though, you can see Charles Johnson's got a big push from the 83 of Jack Walls. So now we'll see if he's able to do anything with it as of yet. You see he's gotten side by side with the one of Gabe Butler. But right now, that inside line still has a little bit of an edge. I think you're going to need all four cars here to be locked onto each other as tight as possible on the outside line to give them the best chance to make this happen here. All right, 11 to go. Still all to play for. So we'll see. So you can see, though, they are side by side there. So you can see the pushing definitely starting to pick up. You see Eric Laurie, he's pushing that one of Gabe Butler. Charles Johnson, a good push. Oh, couldn't quite clear himself. It looked like he tried to make a move, but couldn't quite do it. That's going to separate them just a little bit here. So now, let's say now the advantage is going to go back to the inside line. And we'll have to wait and see. I say it's definitely possible. We'll definitely see multiple charges from these outside line. It's just going to be all about when you get that surge at the right place at the right time. But right now, let's say as we have now 10 laps to go, you can see advantage starting to form back to the inside line. Though you see the 071 and the one clearing the 28. And so the other question is going to be if that inside line gets enough cars cleared. Is there some point in this where maybe Dale Willoughby or Kevin Freese, do they try to jump to the top and make it just that much more difficult for that outside line, where they have to maybe work to that third line or something like that? So there's a lot that can happen here. Again, everybody's still running 2x2 here, but again, Talladega, there's plenty of room to go to that third lane. But say with this group as this lead pack here being a little bit smaller than they are right now, it might not be as effective to try to make that 3 wide happen here. See at the line there, showing about a thousandth of a second there between Charles and Gabe at the line. Saying I think that's definitely something we could see here coming to the finish. Say 9 to go here, still a lot to play for, and saying a lot that can still happen, of course, as well with the driving, and the pushing that we're going to see again. The aggression's only going to start picking up. So yeah, I'd say there's going to be a pretty exciting finish here. Saying the crazier part about this is right now on the outside line, the only 2 cars in the lead lap are that lead pack, the 28 of Charles Johnson, the 12 of Robbie Richards. 83 is the lap down, as is the 88. The inside line, all those guys are lap down or on the lead lap, I apologize, up until Matt Quick in the 89 car. Say the other driver that's on the lead lap in this group. No, I'm sorry, that is all of them. Yeah, apologies. So it's those 7 cars here, all on the lead lap. But again, I say we've got a handful of lappers here helping out. So hopefully, of course, not affecting the outcome of the race, maybe on the incident side of things, but definitely going to work with teammates here and try to push them to the front. So, and that's the name of the game with these races. I mean, you got to have friends, you got to have people you can work with. Saying right now, say Charles is hoping that he can get that 83 and the 88 to be able to shove him to the front here. So the leaders are going to be catching another group of cars here not too far away. Looks like it's going to be Todd Merkel, Art Peck, and the 44, I believe, of Dwight Plesh. Say right now they're still about a half a straightaway away. But I think that is definitely going to be in reach for these leaders to catch, though, and so that could also throw another wrinkle into this as well. As I was saying, so we can see if we can find them there on the screen. We couldn't quite see them there. But right now, that inside line doing what they need to do. You can see, again, Eric Laurie giving Gabe Butler a really good push there down the back here. And just doing everything he needs to do to try to help that one car pull this thing off. And so that's going to be the next question, too, is if when we get to this white flag, does that 071, does he stay locked onto that one car? If he gets the position, does he try to take advantage and try to maybe jump to the top and see if he can grab a win for himself here? Oh, you are correct. Oh, yeah, my cat probably hit the overlay. I hope the overlay hasn't been on this whole race. Thank you, Corey. Appreciate it. If that overlay's been on the whole race, I apologize. That is embarrassing. Alright, coming around here, 5 to go at the line. Again, right now, that one of Gabe Butler still leading the way. Charles Johnson with help from the 83 of Jack Walls on the outside. We'll see what they're able to do. You see that lead, that group of cars coming up that they're going to come around to give a lap, put a lap down, I should say. Again, we mentioned Art Peck, Todd Merkel. They put them both a lap down. And it looks like that'll also put the 44 of Dwight Plesh 2 laps down. So we'll see if they're able to get through these guys cleanly. You see Charles trying to steal a little bit of a draft if he can. Actually uses that draft to perfection. Just closes the door there by inches over that number 1 of Gabe Butler. I'll say I don't think there was much room, if any, there to squeeze a piece of paper between those 2 cars. So now Charles, though, he's going to have to play full defense here. With these 4 laps remaining. We saw him do it at Daytona. It's going to be a little tougher to do here at Talladega. Say a lot more room to travel here. I'm saying also, of course, is going to be if he can get any help there with those cars behind him. But right now, I think that number 1 of Gabe Butler is just going to try to size him up here and get the run at the right time and make his move. But right now, they'll give that lead back to that number 1 of Charles Johnson here. And you can see that outside line is starting to make a move here. You can see, again, that 83 of Jack Walls is actually 2 laps down here. So, but he's leading this outside group, and that could come into play as well. As you can see, Gabe is going to jump to the top and try to get the push from this outside line. Now it's going to be whether or not Gabe can get the push from those 2 cars behind him, or if it's going to all kind of shake things up a little bit more. So we'll wait and see. Right now, Jack is behind that number 1 of Gabe Butler as they have 3 to go at the line. But right now, everybody's doing what they can. Everybody's running 2 by 2 here down the back. Right now, again, our race leader is that 28 and the 1. Those are the battle for the lead behind them. The 071 Eric Laurie also on the lead lap, as is the 7 of Dale Willoughby. Robbie Richards in the 12 also on the lead lap. So again, kind of a mixed bag here of cars on the lead lap and a lap down. But again, say the other part that's going to be interesting here is with some of these drivers that are kind of pinned to the bottom, they're not going to get the opportunity to run this outside line, or the third line, I should say. So I think right now that that yellow line is definitely going to be the 28's best friend here. All right, 2 to go here at Talladega. Still Charles Johnson leading the way. Still got that number 1 of Gabe Butler just to his outside. So you can see, though, I think there's a little bit of mixed feelings here of who's going to do what, because right now you got these cars kind of all switched with each other. So you got the 28 leading the 1's teammate, and then you've got the 1 leading the 28's teammate on the outside line. So it's one of those things, like, you want to obviously push and help your cause out here, but you can see everybody's kind of just leaving themselves a little bit of a gap between each other, not shoving bumpers here like you would normally see with drivers trying to go for the win. So it's definitely an interesting finish here. You can see it seems like the pace has actually backed off a fair bit just because of it, as they're going to come around here for the white flag here at Talladega. So we have 1 more to go. So it's going to, right now, it looks like it's going to be between Charles Johnson and Gabe Butler. But we'll see, can Eric Laurie do anything with where he is in position? And will anybody try to make this top line happen as well and get a late race charge? Say Robbie Richards would be the one in the prime position to do that in the 12 machine. But right now, everybody stays 2 by 2. A little bit of contact between a couple cars. Everybody's kind of jumping out a little bit. You can see the momentum trying to where it's going to go. And this is going to possibly open the door here for that 071. There's you see Eric Laurie. He jumps to the top behind. Charles is going to try to block here. He's trying to block the one as much as he can, but he can't go any further up. Oh, almost contact between the 2 of them. We are 3 wide through the tri-oval for the final time. You see the 83 gives a big push, contact between them. We have multiple cars involved there at the line, though. It looks like it's going to be between the 1 and the 7. And I believe that it may have gone to the, yeah, it looks like the 1 of Gabe Butler just gets the win there over Dale Willoughby by 5 thousandths of a second. Kevin Freeze brings it home in 3rd. And then somehow Robbie Richards is able to squeak through all that to get the 4th position. All right, let's go back. Let's take a look at that finish, because that was a wild ending there. I think that the 83 car just got too much of a bump there. And so let's actually go all the way back to the backstretch and see where everybody started shaking out a little bit here. All right, so I saw something with the 83 of Jack Walls. I think that's kind of where some of this began. Try to see if we can get a better shot of it here. Oh yeah, looks like maybe the 12 didn't push him quite square. That got him up, got him loose, and see all the drivers there. Oh yeah, see Michael Spell actually gets a little bit of contact as well. Everybody able to hang on to, the great job by all these drivers here. But I said this is what gave him the separation, though. That was exactly what Eric Laurie needed to happen to be able to try to do something with it. So say we'll go back now to the front here with Charles Johnson and the 1 of Gabe Butler. You can see they're still side by side here through 3 and 4, but then here comes that momentum from the outside, and you see right away Eric Laurie is going to jump to the top with his teammate. And that's where we saw. Then Charles, of course, is going to have to try to make a block here. He slides to the top, tries to see if he can slow the momentum of that 1 car. But again, Gabe's just got too much momentum. He's just going to use the width of this track here and jump to the top side. And then you see on the inside, though, you got Dale Willoughby there. So while he was worrying about him, Dale's able to sneak down to the inside here as we go through the tri-oval here. And then you can see right now the advantage, the 1 is just slightly ahead. You see the 7's got a pretty good run here with the 25 helping him. And then here comes the 83 of Jack Walls coming with a huge head of steam here. And I think just gave a too big of a shot to that number 80, from the 83 to the 28 there. You can see immediately the 28 car just cuts to the left there, just gets extremely loose. Again, great driving, though, by those guys to avoid that contact to be any worse than it was. You can see also contact with the 071 of Eric Laurie. Again, Eric also able to hang on to it pretty well. Then you see, though, at the end, the contact with Jack Walls sends Jack down to the infield here. As you see, also Charles Johnson then slides up into the side of the 89, I believe that was of Matt Quick. But then as they come across to the start-finish line here, so we'll slow things down all the way. Let's go ahead and pull up here. See the flagman watching the drivers as they approach here to the start-finish line. I promise they're working here. There they are. And right there is the gap, just about the nose of the car, for Gabe Butler to get that spot over Dale Willoughby in that number 7 machine. So, that being said, we got to pull up some drivers here and get some interviews, because I'll say that was definitely a more interesting finish, maybe different than we would have been used to seeing here. So let's go back and let's grab some drivers to have a chat with. So we're going to start with our 3rd place finisher, this number 25 machine of Kevin Freeze. Alright, let's grab Kevin here and have a chat with him. Alright, Kevin, so started on the 2nd position as they just didn't quite get that pole position bonus point you're probably hoping for. But then, I mean, go caution free here. Say, obviously, I'm not sure what happened with your teammate / championship competitor, the 89 of Matt Quick. But so, I mean, obviously, that's a great points day for you here. But man, I would say coming to the finish there, that was a really odd one for me that I've seen before, because usually it's like, okay, we got all teammates working together, but I've never really seen it when there's teammates that are various lead laps down, things like that. I mean, from your point of view, I mean, how wild was that there coming to the finish?
It was interesting. We were all wondering when Charles was going to run out of fuel, and we were just hoping that we wouldn't be right behind him when it happened.
So there was fuel concerns as well. So I honestly kind of was just in the mindset that everybody was going to be good to the end there.
No, we were saving pretty hard there just to make sure that we had enough. I would pit early with Ray, and we were just 3/4 throttle, half throttle, just trying to save as much as we could for most of that.
Okay, yeah, so that gives a lot more insight that I was not aware of. Yeah, I kind of just assumed that everybody was like, oh yeah, we're good to go to the end here. So, but yes, I mean, obviously a great result though for you here tonight, getting that 3rd place. Like I mentioned, Matt there finishing in the 16th position. It looks like definitely going to be advantage to you. It looks like on your for the point standings going into the finale at Daytona next week. Let's say any thoughts about leading into that one?
I hope we get another one that's caution-free. They're a lot more fun than all the restarts, and get to actually use strategy, and it shows who gets on and off pit road the best.
Yeah, you guys did a really good job of that. Say, didn't break up the pack too much. I say, still at the end, I say I think you had about 7 to 8 cars there that were in contention at the end. But yeah, really exciting finish there at the end. So. Again, great job on that 3rd place, though, Kevin. Oh, actually, no. Before I let you go, I said I'm sorry, I'm forgetting things here. I got to give you an opportunity for any thanks and shouts you like to give.
Yeah, shout out to the team getting that 1, 2, 3, and the 5th and 6th. We worked really well together. It was a fun race.
All right, well, congrats again. Say, look forward to seeing you next week and say battling for that title here at Daytona.
Yeah, hope everybody enjoyed the race.
All right, that's our 3rd place finisher there, Kevin Freeze. Now we got to pull up our 2nd place finisher, that number 7 of Dale Willoughby. Say, Dale, gave it everything you had there. Just didn't quite. I mean, you had some help there at the end. Let's say, but unfortunately, I think that big push that the 83 gave the 28 there kind of shoved him down into you, maybe hurt your momentum a little bit. Let's say, if not for that, do you think you had the push there to try to get around that one for the win tonight?
It was a crapshoot when the 28 ran out of fuel. If I could have got by him clean, I'd have had it, but it's racing.
Yeah, that's part of the plate racing, having to have the friends and the help you need and things of that nature. I mean, was there anything like I mentioned there just right now to Kevin, was the kind of the mixed bag of cars on various laps of the race, and so you had drivers a lap or two down helping some of the lead pack cars, and so say it was kind of a different scenario than we've seen actually probably all season. Usually, obviously, used to just the leaders being all right up with each other, kind of shoving each other to the front there. Obviously, most of your team there was all still in the lead lap, but was there any concerns on your end of what the strategy was going to be?
It's been the same strategy 2 weeks in a row. Just gotta keep as much fuel in that car as you can. It's real close. If you're out front, you're not gonna make it.
Yeah, no, you guys did exactly what you needed to tonight. And saying again, like you mentioned, going caution free. That's then definitely also make it a little bit more difficult on that fuel number. So you guys were able to get the number you needed though, and be able to grab those finishes tonight. So you were able to pull off that second place. Anybody you want to thank? Shout outs you like to give for that second place run though tonight?
Yeah, team boot. Now I can go win, Gabe. Appreciate all my other teammates: Kevin Freeze, Ray Rittenauer, Eric Laurie. I feel bad for Matt Quick. He had some issues getting in here tonight. That's really going to hurt him on the points. Missing Kevin Hash and really missing Dude Conrad. I'm hoping, I think he's said next week he might get some internet. So be glad to see him come back. I want to appreciate you guys for putting this broadcast on, and Charles Johnson, Area 51 for all the hard work they do.
I'll say great job again. Great finish here tonight. As I look forward to chatting with you here next week.
Yeah, hopefully I can keep that monkey beat down one more week.
Yeah, you've been doing a great job all season. So, like I said, try to finish season 5 strong, and then go after full tilt here shortly on season 6.
Yes, sir. You gentlemen have a good.
All right, so that was our second place finisher, Dale Willoughby. Now we got to pull up our race winner, that number 1 of Gabe Butler. So Gabe started from the pole position. Obviously wasn't completely straightforward there tonight. Had to work for it at the end. Had to really try to get around that block there towards the end. It's like at that point, it's like white flag coming to checkers. I'm sure everybody's going to do everything they can to try to hold on to that spot, but you're able to use that momentum, get to the top side, and be able to pull off this win. I mean, take us through your strategy on those final laps, and also, I mean, how tight was it there between that you and the 28 there when he got to the inside of you entering turn 3 there when he was able to get to the lead? Because, man, it didn't look like you could slip more than a piece of paper between your cars.
Yeah, it was paper thin there. I had to get out of it or would have wrecked both of us. But, I mean, I'm just surprised he made it as far as he did on fuel because I pitted a lap after he did, and I was only good by about half a gallon. So I was I figured he was going to run out, probably on the last lap. But early in the track, but he didn't run out till I think he got out of 4, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, so actually that's a good point. I didn't realize. I thought he just got a really big bump from the 83, and that's what actually sent him around. But yeah, maybe if he lost that momentum from the fuel, that definitely could have played a big role in that one for sure. But I mean, yeah. So I mean, you did exactly what you needed to here tonight. Obviously, it's a little bit of the gap that you had coming into it to be able to challenge for the points title. That being said, though, obviously a nice way to kind of finish off the season here with one race to go. Been really strong here the last couple of weeks to try to kind of reclaim what you've been doing, what you had going there in season 4. I feel like to maybe lead your way into season 6 here.
Yeah, it's always good to build momentum. Just had a bit of a rough start to the season, but I mean it was a good finish by our team tonight. Kevin still has the points lead, so he's looking good going into the final race. And a bit of bad luck though for Matt. He had power issues at his house and made the effort to try to go to a friend's house to get on his computer and try and race. So I mean, it's just unfortunate for him.
Yeah, and always unfortunate to have those kind of technical difficulties to make it difficult and throw off your chances there. So, yeah, definitely a shame. He's been running really well all year, so still one more to go. You never know what can happen. Obviously, you don't want to have any bad luck for teammates, of course, either, but definitely going to probably need a little bit of luck on his side going to next week at Daytona. Well, that being said, I mean, like I said, you've been on a really good tear here the last few weeks, so got one more to go, and so I'm sure you're going to try to finish this one out strong. But I say definitely, of course, got to give you an opportunity, though, and any thanks shouts you'd like to give for pulling off the win this evening.
Just a big shout out to all the teammates. They know who they are. They do a fantastic job week in, week out. We really got our pit strategy down this week again, and that really makes a difference. So it was good to get the Guinness and Apex Royalty Services Chevrolet in Victory Lane.
Congrats again on that win, Gabe. Enjoy it. So I look forward to having another chat with you here hopefully next week.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, as race winner, that number 1 of Gabe Butler. Say before we do anything else, though, of course, we got to go through our final results. All right, so again, winning the race tonight, Gabe Butler in that number 1 machine, 5,000ths of a second over Dale Willoughby in the 7. Kevin Fergus brings it home in 3rd. Robbie Richards 4th. Raymond Rittenauer grabs a top 5. You've got Eric Laurie in 6th. Charles Johnson still found a way to grab the 7th position. You got Dalton Hayes in 8th. Todd Merkel in 9th, and Art Peck rounds out our top 10. And you see the remainder of the finishers here: Paul Patterson, Michael Spell, Mark Brown, Gary Corley. Then you got Eugene Vernon there. Matt Quick, unfortunately, as we mentioned, with some of those technical difficulties, one of those championship competitors. And you got Dwight Plush, Jack Walls, Corey Lane, and Mitchell Wilkes. So again, really good results for these guys tonight here at Talladega. Say one more to go next week at Daytona to finish up season number 5. So again, congrats to our top 3 tonight this evening. Want to thank you all for watching. I know up against the Cup race, obviously a little bit difficult one there. But I really want to thank you all for being able to be a part of it, who were able to make it. And also, I'll have to double check, but I say apologies if I had the overlay on. I say thank you, Corey, for letting me know about that, though. So I'll have to double check and see how that all happened. But yeah, so again, though, great job by all of you guys tonight. Really want to thank Area 51 Racing League for letting me be a part of this as well. So with that, let's say we'll be back, of course, on Tuesday for the season finale of the Indy Series. So until then, have a wonderful evening. Of course, if you can, please try to stay home, stay safe, wash your hands, and have a good night.